What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you're now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. You click it, you become a member. All you got to do is try to recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to, so click the link. Now, with that being said, you are here today to watch me review Scream 2022. And it's directed by the dude that did Ready or Not, and I wasn't a fan of that movie, so let's see if he can redeem himself with trying to give this franchise a makeover, I guess. Now, this movie brings back the OGs, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Neve Campbell, and they all return back in glorious fashion, and honestly, those characters alone carry this damn movie. So, the quick synopsis of the movie is there's a group of young kids, the Scream Killer pops back up, and it brings back the legends to the town in order to try to solve the damn mystery and end this once and for all. That's a quick synopsis just for you guys. But let me go ahead and tell you guys how this ends up panning out without spoiling the damn movie. Now, in my opinion, I think the movie was done pretty well. Okay, like I said, the original actors carry the movie very well. They keep the movie flowing, and really they kind of keep the juices flowing in this movie. In my opinion, I wasn't too fond of the young actors. Although some of them did eventually grow on me, I feel like they weren't all acting up to their ability. Now, at first I'm thinking that, the studio got them a fucking band of misfits to go ahead and throw themselves on the screen. So it could really feel like a freaking 2000s slasher movie like from the era. Because a lot of the times, like, the main actors and actresses during that time period, they weren't like the hugest names in Hollywood. They were kind of like a ragtag bunch of like younger teen movie actors and actresses, right? They weren't really huge names. I mean, and it's funny because the people that have been, the young cast that's been casted for this movie, they've had their hands in movies like Don't Breathe. You have one of the actors that's been on the TV show The Boys. You had one that's been in a freaking acclaimed movie like In the Heights, and we have, what else? One of them's been on Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. I mean, that's not much of a praise, but it's there. And so one of them is in The Babysitter, and then there's a couple people that just don't have that much acting credits to their name. But at the same time, most of the cast, the new blood per se, they have a pretty decent resume. It's not like they've never acted before. It's not like they have absolutely no sense when it comes to this. So I was kind of surprised at the level of acting that I got from them. Now, like I said, I was thinking to myself, and I had this discussion with my wife, and I just sat back and I said, am I being too hard on these characters because this isn't my generation? Like when I look back, we recently watched Scream, the first one, and as annoying as Stu is, to me it's bearable because it's kind of like what I grew up with in my era, like the 90s era. So although his character is kind of like annoying, but it goes with him, in my opinion. It serves its purpose with him. You've seen so many damn movies with the party white boy attitude, and Stu fits the bill for that character all the way through. But segueing back into this movie, you have a bunch of other characters. They're just not as believable. Like I think the black dude and his twin sister, or the black dude and his sister, like, I mean, they're very forgettable. They can honestly, like, really not have been really involved in this movie, and you would have never missed anything. There's a couple of other characters that are kind of like, and they don't really get shined until later on in the film, but at the same time, you don't really get to respect what they're able to bring to the table. They're kind of forgettable, But the question I was presenting to myself is, am I being too hard on these characters because they're not from my generation? These characters are portraying kids from a generation that I don't belong to, and sometimes, typically, I get annoyed by the newer generation. So, if I get annoyed by the newer generation and these characters are portraying kids from that generation, then maybe this is the reason why I find these kids kind of unbearable sometimes. That's the kind of conclusion that I'm coming to. Like, maybe it's just the fact that they're portraying these kids from a modern era, and maybe I'm just being a little too harsh on them. You guys let me know if really these actors and actresses just can't act, or were they just being a little bit over the top, or are they acting right on point with being and sounding and portraying kids from this generation? You know, I will say this: the freaking kills in this movie are brilliant. They're very gory. They're very violent, and if anything, like the kills are some of the best kills I've seen in a while. You know, there's a lot of callbacks to the original film. There's a lot of things that are going to make you pop. We didn't have a really good, exciting audience that kind of knew the film and knew the history of it, so it was kind of boring in our theater. Maybe if we would have went to see it on like opening night, it probably would have been a little bit different, because the character introductions like David Arquette, Niv, and Courtney, when they pop on the screen, they have moments where it's like it kind of pauses for an applause, if you know what I mean. You know, like there's that pop moment that's supposed to happen when you see these actors and actresses, and I felt like people didn't utilize that to cheer or to show their excitement for these characters.
Our theater was lame.
Yes, basically. My wife said our theater was lame, right? And it's funny because the one character that they did kind of applaud for was somebody who's not even really like associated with the franchise like that. Like they've probably been in like one film. So it's kind of funny that you have these three characters that follow the film franchise basically throughout almost the whole film, like the whole franchise so far. And we literally just have this person that might have been in one film, if I'm not mistaken, and people were kind of like making a little hoot hoot for that, you know? That one, her. Yeah, they kind of like, I heard like applause and I heard like talking and chattering when she came on the screen, but I was just like, yo, like Niv Campbell came on the screen and nobody did nothing. Courtney Cox showed up on the screen, nobody did nothing. David Arquette showed up on the screen and they did nothing. This lady comes on the screen, she's not even affiliated with the franchise like that, and then you guys pop for that. Interesting. You know, and that probably made me feel like the target audience was a little bit younger than me, you know? Definitely not. I don't even, that's a definite, like, that's a no-brainer right there. She ain't cute at all, but, you know.
She's okay, but just not
No.
Not Campbell cute.
No, she ain't cute at all. She look like, no, that's that Dale Gribble trash can that got hit when Peggy was pulling into the driveway. But she just never bounced back. Anyway, where was I at? Like I said, overall the film is fun. It has a lot of gore. The younger audience, the younger actors and actresses, I feel like they don't carry the movie as well. The older actors and actresses, the legendary cast, I feel like they're the ones that really pull this movie together. They're the glue in this movie. Now, as far as the third act goes, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on the third act, and my personal opinion on the third act is it was good. It wasn't, of course, it isn't on the level of Scream 1. Scream 1's third act, when you first see it, was just freaking mind blowing, you know. And this is always that movie that you go to and you watch, and you're just really excited because you're trying to figure out who did it. You're trying to figure out who did it, and you're trying to figure out why they did it. That's the fun aspect of the whodunit movies, you know. Like it's like a mystery, and you're just trying to solve that mystery. So it's fun watching a movie and saying, oh, this person's acting suspicious. Oh, why did they zoom in on that person? Oh, why did they highlight this? Or why did they highlight that? You know, there's things in a movie where it's like little breadcrumbs, and you're like, oh, that's a red herring. They're trying to throw me off the trail. They want me to think that it's this person, but I think it's really that person. Oh, this person hasn't been on the camera a lot. You know, like it's just different things and different things that's going through your mind while you're like trying to justify your choice and your selection for who you think the killer is, right? And I mean, the whole movie is freaking marketed on trying to figure out who the killer is. The franchise has done a very good job at keeping this idea fresh. And honestly, I feel like they repackaged it for a brand new audience, and I feel like it works, while also keeping it very nostalgic for the older audience as well. Now, there is a trope that's in the movie. There's two tropes that's in the movie that I feel like they're overdone. One is the bait. There's so many bait and switches. I don't like the bait and switch. It was overdone like crazy. And then also there's like the tropey Jamie Kennedy. Oh, I'm gonna give you guys the horror rules. At the beginning, the first couple of times it was mentioned, it was fine, but I feel like the whole horror rule idea kind of was overkill after it was mentioned for the third and fourth time. It became really too tropey, and I was just like, okay, like is this really going to be like a run-on joke throughout the movie, you know? Also, sometimes they felt like they were being a little too jokey in moments where it's supposed to be a little bit serious. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I mean, I'm not going to take too many points off of that because this is a horror franchise. This is a horror movie, and honestly, horror movies, they're synonymous with cheese, you know? But overall, like I said, I've enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun with it. It tried its best to kind of connect with the original. It tried its best to kind of tie in with the original. It tried its best to like trying to give you that original aura that we got from the first film. And I mean, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I see a lot of people shitting on this movie saying that, oh, well, this it sucks and it's a turd and I'd rather watch Halloween. Halloween Kills is the better bet. And I look at you and I say, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Nobody's going to believe the fact that you said that Halloween Kills is a better watch than Scream 2022. That, my friend, is bullshit. Halloween Kills was one of the fucking worst horror movies I've ever seen in a long time. It was so fucking stupid. The only good thing about that movie is the kills, and I feel like people are overcompensating for the kills for the lack of story and everything else. At least Scream had a fucking decent story and a twist that actually, to me, made a little bit sense. It made sense when you look at it from the retrospect of the characters, you know. But overall, like I said, I had a lot of fun with this movie. If you enjoy the Scream franchise, you're gonna like this movie. And here on the Cinema Chop Shop, we grade movies in 3 ways. Either you get bodied and sent to the bowels of hell, and I tell you your movie was basura, homie, or I tell you it's meh, means it's más o menos, mediocre, mid-grade, mid-range, all that good shit. Or I tell you that your movie is spared, and I tell you your movie's awesome, dope, go see it, go check it out, have fun, watch it with your family, watch it with your dog, pet her on the head, scratch her on her ear, all that good stuff. I'm going to have to go ahead and spare this movie.
He ain't earned the death. He ain't earned the death at my hands. God's only man, spared by the butcher.
That's right, you heard it, folks. I just spared this movie. I think definitely if you're a fan of the franchise, the Scream franchise, you should go watch this movie. If you are one of those fans that love David Arquette and Sydney, and Neve Campbell and Courtney Cox, definitely go check out this movie. There's other little twinkles and sprinkles of other cameos that are in this movie that I'm not going to spoil for you, but it's dope when you see it. That was another cameo that they didn't pop for, but that was man, that movie theater was whack, homie. Anyway, that's my review. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Whatever the case may be, drop it in the comment section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys are having a great day. And bam.